Okay. I normally don't work on the weekends. We're not open Saturday and Sunday, but when disaster strikes, like it did for a business client of ours, we come to the rescue. So this computer has smoke and water damage because it was in a fire. So what we're going to try to do here is inspect. We're going to take apart the computer, inspect parts, and dry them all down, clean them, and see what we're working with here. So without further ado, let's start tearing into this guy. Water, it's still wet right here from where the CPU is at, where it draws in air, so this is wet. So I can only imagine there's going to be water. Yeah, I see water right on the motherboard. Right here. Yep. Now, the client says that this computer was on the whole time. So I can tell by the fans and the amount of soot that's on here that it sucked in all the soot from, is it soot or soot? Maybe soot. But I can tell it sucked in all that smoke and soot. So it's all on the CPU fins, the CPU cooler fins, the heat sink. It's all over the graphics card. Obviously it's going to be also in the power supply. It's on the exhaust fan as well. And that's not such a big problem. The problem here is going to be the water. So I can see water right on top of the CPU MOSFETs, on the M.2 connector on the motherboard, on the graphics card. Yep. So this is gonna be a complete teardown, clean, dry, and put back together. And we're gonna get our hands dirty. So let's start. There's the board. Yep, there's definitely soot even on this underneath the motherboard. So yeah, we're gonna do our best to clean this all up. Cover off, which is dripping wet. We got water right here. But let's get this fan out of the way. I think this probably clips in. Yeah, plenty of soot and water. Yikes. So first things first, we're going to get this case cleaned up. Because, yeah, no sense in putting all the parts back in if this is dirty and wet. So we could do a few different things. I think traditionally you could do microfiber with water, or microfiber with alcohol, rubbing alcohol. We got something special here, 99% pure isopropyl alcohol. So we'll be using that, but we also have these alcohol wipes. So let's see how good they are at getting the soot out. And the reason we're using alcohol is this is going to help or aid in whatever water that's trapped in here, that it gets evaporated along with the alcohol. I think next we'll do alcohol. Definitely clean, a lot better. Oh yeah. Evaporate. Pop this IO shield out. It's coming out way better. Way better. There we go. Now we can start doing some detail cleaning. Here's the underside. I don't know if you can tell, but it's all full of water and sheetrock debris. So as most of you know, water and electronics don't mix. So first thing I told the client is, don't turn it on. We don't want to risk further damage. Wow, look at this water. Yeah, I'll just clean it up with this and I'll use a new microfiber. Now here's the interesting part. We also have network attached storage, network enclosures, switches, routers, and all that good stuff to clean up. We're going to be doing the same thing to all of their network equipment. Actually opening up the switches and routers. They're not liquid damaged, but they got a lot of smoke and soot sitting in there. So we're going to be cleaning those out too. One thing to note here is water, especially on steel, not so much aluminum, although it does happen on aluminum if it's prolonged, but corrosion, rust. Let's start to see rust on these USB ports. So we're probably going to alright, so visual, you can still smell it, it's on there. Let's try our best to salvage this computer. And sure, no, we could buy a new computer, right? We could just back up the data, restore from backups. We also take care of their computers and maintain backup secure, right? But how long is it going to take to reinstall all their software? How long is that going to take? how much is that going to cost the client? It would be cheaper, right, if your IT person knows actually the ins and outs, like the back of their hand, of computers, to do this. Instead of calling it a complete loss, you could go in there and clean it all up, right? So, it smells a lot better. And that could be smelling my hands, but it smells a lot better. Remember, this computer is going to be right next to their desk, right next to them. You know, smelling something sooty wouldn't really be good. So, gotta make sure it's clean. Okay. Next step. Got to reply to the wife. Keep her in the loop. This is a Saturday after all. Now, this isn't meant to be an instructional video. Now, perhaps you're thinking, you know, why do we do these videos, right? Sometimes, I know the competition locally here, they'll watch our videos try to copy and imitate what we're doing in an effort, you know, to take business away, which, hey, that's their choice. Whatever they want to do in regards to how they handle their business. If they want to imitate, that's the biggest form of flattery. So I'm flattered. Local competition here in Selma. You guys watch our Instagram and Facebook and YouTube channel and draw inspiration from that. Thank you. But in regards to us, I'd like to think that we lead and not follow. Anyhow, like I said, these videos, we make them for our clients or potential clients to see what we can do. The everyday kind of thing that we've been doing for the past 15 years. And the passion that we have for working with computers. Not tablets, not smartphones, not game consoles. Computers. Gaming computers. Laptops. Gaming laptops. Mac. Apple. Computers. That's what we specialize in and nothing else. Yep, I see water running. So what I'm gonna do is pull this memory out. We're gonna wipe that down too because it's sooty and dusty. Not that there's anything. Don't see any water inside the sockets, but I did see water where the solid state drives are at. Pull the drive out. In case you've never seen one, this is a M.2 solid state drive. This is a 1 terabyte 980 Pro. Nothing but the best for our business clients and whoever comes in the shop too. We typically recommend Samsung drives for reliability reasons, but we use other drives as well, other less expensive and almost as reliable. Although Samsung has had some issues in the past with new drives, and they fixed it with firmware updates, but still, you gotta stay on top of tech and know what's going on. Anyhow, Of course, I could take out the processor, and in fact, I'm going to remove it only to inspect. And there is water. Yep. There's water. Not what I wanted to see. So, we're not going to be cleaning in here. I don't want to disturb any of the pins. But, we're going to need to run some alcohol in there so we can attempt to dry out the socket. Now if we let it sit, alright, we just let it sit and let it dry on its own, run the risk of corrosion, rust, and that's not what we're looking for. We want to actually dry it out completely. Could go as far as removing brackets. I think we're gonna have to do that. That's pretty strange. I think I have. You can see, yeah, there's plenty of water all in here. So I might be thinking, oh my god, what are you doing? Right. But this is alcohol. It's going to dry up. We need to get all that moisture out of there. All that sooty, dirty water that collected inside. Smell all that soot. Hope I'm saying that right. If I'm saying it wrong, leave a comment. So, could get in there with some cotton tips. Let's do that. I'm going to go crazy and just clean this whole board with cotton tips. Not to mention, we're doing this in a rush, so to speak. In other words, we're trying to get this all figured out before Monday morning, before they open back up for business. Our goal here is to get this computer up and running today, so that Monday we can set them up temporarily in another room while they have to deal with whatever they got to do to get the office fixed, because there's holes everywhere, there's water and smoke and building materials all over the office where this computer was. So there's no way they're going to go back in there. We're going to have to help them. We'll delightfully help them. We'll try and help them as best as we can to set up a temporary computer setup in another room that wasn't affected by the fire. Now, this client of ours has been with us for close to 15 years, and so when you develop a relationship and trust, and you do everything as best as you can with the client's best interests in mind, these are the kind of clients you bend over backwards for and help them out. ain't gonna be perfect, but we're gonna get really close. We're gonna clean up this motherboard. And at the end of the day, if this board doesn't work, if something indeed is shorted out, we're gonna hope that the solid state is still good. We could just build another machine or find another one with a similar chipset or same generation, pop the solid state in, and it should be up and running. So there's always a plan. There's always a plan B. In this case, there's also a plan C. Like I said, since we maintain and we back up daily, not only the files, but a system image of this computer, we could technically restore everything the way it was, programs and the whole 9 yards, to brand new computer, or any of the computers we have here in the shop, either refurbished or ones that we've built, restore it to a laptop, whatever. We can do that. Okay, so we've cleaned up this board quite a bit. It smells more like alcohol than smoke. Put some alcohol in these ports, dry them up. I have a feeling I'm going to need a lot of these. Let's just take them out. Make sure the alcohol gets in there. Actually, I could just pour it inside. I'm not going to harm it at all. You want to make sure you get all that moisture out. It smells like smoke, but I think there was a lot of smoke in here. Okay, so we'll set this aside for now, and start to clean up other parts. Screws. Now the processor had liquid on it, so let's also just do just a real quick wipe down. This is an i5-13500 13th gen, relatively new computer that we built, I believe either this year or last year for the client. Okay, and we'll set this aside. Silo shield is pretty filthy. Let's see, let's do a quick wipe down. Very sharp. Gotta be careful with these. You can slice your finger on an IO shield all day long. In fact, that's how it used to be building computers. A lot of the case edges, even on the outside, were sharp. They were not filed down at all. Also, if you used zip ties, you cut the zip tie off, you also would run the risk of slicing your hand or your finger open. Let's clean the CPU cooler. Let's get this thermal paste off. Now, I mean, there's this aspect of it, right? Cleaning the fins, accumulation of dust and soot. That aspect of cleaning it. tell. It smells so bad. I can tell there's quite a bit of soot on it. Because this is what was sucking air into the case. Yikes, that's a lot. A lot to clean. Now we got plenty of stock CPU coolers, so I could technically just grab one off the shelf and put it on. Same exact ones, but let's see if we can salvage it. Go wild here, just clean every single part of it. Now, new ones, let's see if there's anything left over. If any of these blades. Still a little bit left. Let's go in. Do another one just overall. Smells better. Just checking to see what the alcohol wipes really smell like versus just smell the smoke on it. Okay, so here's the CPU cooler. Still smells like smoke, but it's clean. Next one, Samsung M.2 drive. Let's see about, because there's water on here. Let's see about cleaning this up. Just getting the moisture off of here. This is where all the data's at. I mean, this is what we're trying to save here. This is the most important part. We're trying to save the whole computer, but push come to shove, this is the part that we're most worried about. The data. All the time and effort put into setting up the computer, programs, and all the work that's been put into what to do, right? Let's try this off. Alright, so far we've got the motherboard, processor, drive, and we got these guys. This is the DDR5 kit from Team Group. Let's just wipe it down. There was no liquid on here, but we just want to give it a decent little wipe down. Wipe down of that. Graphics card. Now this definitely has soot all over its seat, all over the fan and the heatsink. So that's going to be tough to clean, but we can clean it. We can clean it. First, let's see about, just break all that up. All that run into the microfiber towel. By the time it's all said and done, we're gonna probably use up half a bottle of this stuff. Okay, so this guy, it's not a high-end card, but it's on there because we need DVI, which this motherboard does have. So we may or may not need this card. I'm not sure why we had it in there, but we're going to put it back in there just because. Okay, clean as a whistle. Okay, Next one, not looking forward to it, but has to be done. Power supply. I just say that because I used to take apart power supplies previously. Screwdriver. Oh, it's right here. I used to take apart power supplies in the past, and only because I replaced the capacitors. Some of these, OEM power supplies, capacitors would go out, so you have to replace them. Most computer techs just be like, "Oh, just buy another power supply." Sure, yeah, you could, but if you can fix it, why not? So I would do that kind of stuff. Nowadays we don't really do that, but I used to. So thankfully that skill will be used again today. There's another screw right here. Oof. Good thing is I don't see any water, so water didn't make its way this way. But like everything else, it has some soot on it. Let's disconnect the fan, and we could take the board out. Yeah, you might be watching this video like, oh man, it's too much work. But when you've already done complete teardowns all the way down to every single part you can think of, I'm not afraid. It's not a big deal. So all this is going to get cleaned up. Let's go the same approach as the graphics card, because there's too much on here. Could there be residual power in the capacitors? Yes, very well could be. Therefore, we don't touch the bottom of the board. Power supplies have huge capacitors. This is a 560 microfarad 200 volt times 2. And you know, out of curiosity, how much voltage do these have? Are they actually carrying voltage? Huh, okay, well that's good. At least those big ones don't have anything. Anywho, let's move on. Let's put another microfiber. Look down on this bad boy. Oh yeah, you can see the soot. Remember, the power supply has a fan too. So it's sucking in, not as much as the CPU was, but it was sucking in. I got it at an angle here, so whatever I'm loosening up runs off. Who knows, I might go through this whole thing inside of the case. Until we ran out of microfiber towels. Oh man, this is tiring. I think we got about an hour into this video already. This will protect the underside of the circuit board from touching the metal power supply. So all power supplies have had some type of plastic shielding just to insulate it. Here's the other interesting part. So this is the fan. This one's gonna need a good dousing. Okay. I'm gonna take the fan off. Let me clean it a little better. Nice and wet, pure alcohol. Let's get this. So wipe down the fan. Let's see, let's put this back on so I can get a positioning on where the connector needs to be. In other words, where this fan needs to be pointed. I mean, the side the connector comes out. Connectors on this side. Okay. So we got this back on. Put it back in. Yes, it's possible. A little short pigtail. Okay. So, before I forget, looks like we cut the wire when we cut that zip tie off. But not to worry, I know how to solder. Let's solder that wire. We all make mistakes. The point is you fix them, right? Okay. Strip the wire back. Strip the wire back. Tubing. This was not scripted. This is real life, folks. Okay. Let's put this heat shrink tubing on. At the tip. This is a bit tight, like a tiger. Okay. So let's be careful here so I don't cut any other wires. Make things worse. So I need a little slack here. Cut me some slack, man. Soldered our cut wire back together. Now we're going to put our heat shrink tubing back. Or heat shrink tubing, we're going to slide it on. Protect that solder. Let's get dangerous. There we go. That's it. Man. Okay. Before I forget, zip ties. Zip tie this bundle together on the inside, just how it was. Still smell a lot of smoke. I think it's coming from the wiring. We haven't cleaned that at all. So, let's do this. Try getting into the wiring. Before I zip tie it together, I'm going to try to clean all the individual strands in this power supply. So yeah, hey, this is tedious. Don't get me wrong. You know, we're cleaning, we're taking everything apart, all the way down as much as we can, cleaning every single part with alcohol, drying it out. If you have the skill and you can do it, great. Because this is what's going to take less time sourcing a computer or building it, transferring all the data, setting it up again. We're talking about 3-4 times the time and cost to do this. So think again, like I said, we can do this kind of stuff because we're a computer shop. We don't work on anything else but computers. We've had specialty computers brought into us, computers that are only used for one specific task, that are 20 years old. No joke. Running Windows XP. Yeah, folks, Windows XP. Remember that? Came out in 2000, 2001. That's 24 years old computers. Still in existence, still being used for one specific purpose, typically to run a machine or has a special software that doesn't exist anymore. Yeah, you name it. We've fixed computers like that all these years. So, none of this intimidates us. And that's why you should bring your computer to Leon's Computers. Because this is all we do. If you want the experts, if you want people that are confident and know what they're talking about, that don't mess around, this is the place. Alright, so let's put this on our bench. See what we got. Okay, oh, we got some spinning action here. Powered on its own. Well, that don't look too promising.
A few moments later.
Oh, wait. Never mind. Let's see. BIOS has been reset. Okay, so let's plug in a mouse. Okay. I'm good. Yeah. Let's see. Will it boot? Will it boot? Splash screen, good. Okay, let's go. System fan. Oh, I forgot to put the fan on there, which we haven't cleaned out. So we'll do that in a little bit. But I just want to see, make sure that it's going to. No bootable device found. We're going to the BIOS. Well, okay, let's troubleshoot. We see the memory, we see obviously the processor. I mean, just to get to this point, it's promising, but we're not seeing the drive. The advanced mode, see. Let's shut this thing down. So we're not finding the boot drive. We're going to pull the solid state off. Possibility it may not be good anymore. Alright, so quick update. The existing solid state drive, M.2 drive, it died. For some strange reason it wasn't being detected anymore on the motherboard. So luckily, like I said previously, we maintain, backup, monitor, secure business clients' computers. So this is exactly one of these computers, and we have a system image done every day. So on this guy, we're able to put a new solid state drive in. This one's a Samsung 990 Evo. It had a 980 Pro, and we're able to do the bare metal restoration. Of course, you know, that was about a day ago. So now that it's all up and running, I'm going to show you the end result. We've got a splash screen just like before, but instead of going to the BIOS, we're going right into Windows 11. And there it is. Oh, let's plug our mouse back in. And there it is. So, like I said before, we specialize in computers. That's all we do, and for good reason. We're able to get this customer's computer restored after an office fire. We're able to clean out every single part, as you just saw in the previous video. We're able to put it all back together, and even when the drive failed, we're able to restore the computer back to the state it was previous to the fire. And in the end, if this computer would have been destroyed by the fire, completely gone, not a problem. We can get a new computer, either build one, refurb one, or order a new one from our vendors, and then do a bare metal restoration and be back up and running without having to reinstall anything else. So this is what we do here at our shop here at Leon's Computers. And if you haven't noticed, our new business IT brand, Networks. We've been doing business IT for a very, very long time, and now we have a brand that personifies what we do for our business clients. So, until next time.